Pipe networks are comprised of two basic elements, pipes and nodes. Pipes are self-explanatory. Nodes are locations within the pipe network where there is a device, a pipe junction, or a water input to the system, or a water outflow from the system. Nodes also have an elevation characteristic. Pipe networks begin and terminate with nodes. When creating a new pipe network, we start using the Layout System tool. The blue background on the button shows us that it's been selected. Next, we'll turn on the grid. Click on the Grid menu button, check Major Grid and Minor Grid, then click the Return to Map button. A right-click places the first node in the network. Another right-click places the second node, which is automatically connected to the first node by a pipe. Subsequent right-clicks add further nodes and pipes in sequence. To add another pipe to an existing node, click on the existing node and then right-click in an empty area to create the new node and pipe. To select a pipe or a node, click on the pipe or node. Information appears in the Node Info window or the Pipe Info window. These windows stay pinned to the right-hand border of the kinetic interface and change depending on whether a pipe or a node is selected. To clear the selection, click the Clear Selected Items button. To insert a new node into an existing pipe, move the mouse cursor to the desired location on the pipe and click. After clicking, use the Insert Node button in the Pipe Info window. A drop-down list appears. For this example, select Pump. The pump symbol appears with an arrow showing the direction of flow in the direction field. To change a node type, click on the node. In the Node Info window, click on the Node Type field, which brings up a drop-down list. Select the new node type from this list. For this example, we will select a regulator. To move an existing node, click on the node and hold, then drag the node to an empty area. To delete a pipe, click on the pipe, and in the Pipe Info window, click on the Delete button. A dialog box appears asking if you want to delete the pipe. Click Yes. Nodes can be deleted using the same procedure, that is, by clicking on the node, then clicking the Delete button in the Node Info window. However, deleting nodes can sometimes affect pipes connected to the deleted node, so this procedure is covered more extensively in the next part of this video. There are two types of nodes, end nodes and internal nodes. A pipe is defined by a pair of end nodes, one that begins it and one that terminates it. The default type of end node is a junction single demand. For simplicity, we will refer to these as junction nodes. Junction nodes are symbolized by a round icon. Each pipe can also have 0 or a positive number of internal nodes. The default type of internal node is an intermediate node. Intermediate nodes are symbolized by a smaller square icon. In this example, we have 3 pipes which are defined by 4 junction nodes. And each pipe has 4 intermediate nodes. Deleting junction nodes, or any other type of end node, deletes all pipes that begin or terminate at that node. Deleting an internal node has no effect on the pipe other than the loss of the internal node. To delete either type of node, click on the node and click the Delete button in the Node Info window. When deleting an end node, a dialog box appears asking if you want to delete the node and the connecting pipes. This dialog box does not appear when deleting internal nodes. When creating a new pipe network, the first node placed is a junction node, and subsequent nodes are initially created as junction nodes. But these change to intermediate nodes as further nodes are added. Junction nodes are also created by default at nodes where only 1 or more than 2 pipes are connected. Intermediate nodes allow for changes in pipe direction and also have an elevation characteristic. These directional changes do not affect hydraulics, but elevation changes do. If you wish for directional changes to affect hydraulics, you can account for these minor losses in the Fittings field in the Pipe Info window. This is the Fittings menu. As stated, right-clicking creates new junction nodes that change to intermediate nodes as subsequent nodes are added. If desired, you can force nodes to remain junction nodes using one of 2 methods. First, a double right-click in an empty area causes the next node created to remain a junction, even if subsequent nodes are added. Second, right-clicking the last node created before right-clicking in an empty area retains the last node as a junction instead of changing it to an intermediate node. Last, the node type can be changed by clicking on it and then in the Node Info window, clicking on the Node Type drop-down list. The first 24 node types are end nodes. These appear above the gray dividing line. The 8 node types that appear below the gray line are internal nodes. Pipes have a direction characteristic. To determine the pipe direction, we need to be able to see which nodes begin and terminate the pipe. We could do this by mousing over the end nodes that define the pipe. First, use the Escape key to remove the blue pop-up pipe information window. Then mouse over the nodes. However, a better way is to use labels. To turn labels on, click the Label menu button. The pipe labels are on the left, and the node labels are on the right. On the node side, select Name and close the menu. We see in the pipe info window that the first node is J1 and the last node is J2. Therefore, the pipe direction is from right to left. However, based on the pump location, the flow in this pipe is from left to right. Thus, when running an analysis, negative flows will result. Negative flows are not detrimental to the analysis, but often users prefer flows to be positive. If you wish to reverse the pipe direction to avoid negative flows, in the pipe info window, click on either the first node field or the last node field. The Pipe Connections menu appears. Click on Reverse Nodes and click OK. We now see the direction of the pipe has changed. J2 is the first node, so the pipe direction matches the flow direction. Some nodes also have a direction characteristic. The end nodes that have the direction characteristic are pumps, regulators, loss elements, active valves, turbines, wicket gates, vacuum breakers, and check valve elements. There's one internal node that has the direction characteristic, check valves. The end nodes have a directional arrow in the direction field in the node info window. The check valve internal node does not have a directional arrow. Instead, it mirrors the direction of its pipe. We see that reversing the direction of the pipe reverses the direction of the check valve. To change the direction of an end node, select the node and click on the arrow in the direction field. Sometimes, when inserting a pump, the connecting pipes can inadvertently wind up attached to the same side of the pump instead of the opposite sides. If this happens, the pump will not operate as expected. It may produce zero flows or reverse flows. Further, this error may not be visually obvious. To inspect a pump, click on it and hold, then drag it vertically. In this example, we see that both pipes are connected to the left-hand side of the pump. To correct this, click on the pipe you intend to move to the opposite side of the pump. Click on the pump name in the Pipe Info window and click the button with the circulating arrows underneath the pump name. Then click OK. This switches the pipe to the opposite side of the pump.